Welcome to Straight from the Horse's Mouth, where we cut the BS and give you the truth all about sports. Once again, I am Bryce Oden, hosting with Bryce Davis.
What's good?
So the NBA season, we're officially on the other side now.
Yep.
Right?
Past the Christmas games.
Past the Christmas games, so it's game time. It's go time, right?
Yep.
Normally, I know people think the second half kicks off after the All-Star break, and it kind of does.
Yeah.
It kind of does, but so much has happened in the first half, close to the season, right? We've had the implosion of some teams, right?
Guy got fired.
Our GM got fired. The Cleveland Cavaliers are falling off a cliff. They're talking about possibly moving off Darius Garland and Jared Allen. This is a team that won 60-plus games last year, right?
Y'all might move Anthony Davis.
We might move Anthony Davis, right?
Trae Young might get moved.
Trae Young might get moved, right?
Giannis might get moved.
I call BS on that, but Giannis might get moved. We just had we've officially seen the rise of the Spurs. They're here to play. Nikola Jokic was having another historic season. He just got hurt, which is bringing people are talking about is that 65 game rule that's being brought into fruition. Is that even a thing?
Is that the right thing to do?
You're right, because now it was meant to hurt guys who are low management. It wasn't supposed to hurt guys who got hurt naturally, who are actually out there trying to play, right? But a conversation that has taken hold, and it's now surprising, is about the Lakers.
Yep.
And it's about, Luka Doncic, JJ Redick, LeBron James, because he's 40-something years old. And when it comes to LeBron James, he's always a hot topic. Right? Regardless of what he does, how he moves, talks, plays, it just is what it is. Right? It's been like that since 2003 we entered the league as an 18-year-old, right? And something that I saw talked about on Shannon Sharpe was talking about on Nightcap was how people hold it against LeBron. And in fact, I want you to pull up in the chat, but go ahead and read it.
Yeah. Shannon Sharpe says LeBron James took all the arrows for being the first superstar to team up with other players to win rings. That's why many fans and analysts hold it against him, while showing more love for Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, who had Jerry West and Jerry Krause.
And I'm glad he said that.
Okay.
Because I have been saying that, not the people holding things against him, because I disagree with that, but I've said that from the very beginning about LeBron's moves.
Yeah.
LeBron was in Cleveland for 7 years and watched his team lose or underachieve primarily because of lack of help that he had. Yeah. He had to watch good GMs, good teams get put together, whether it was Danny Ainge putting those teams together in Boston or those teams being put together in Orlando. Right? He had to constantly watch teams be well orchestrated, right? Yeah. Same thing with Kobe.
With Kobe, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bringing in Pau Gasol.
Right.
And,
those earlier teams he had that were put together by Jerry West and all those guys. Like, it takes everybody in there. It's more, it don't matter how great of a player you are. Yeah. If your GMs and team presidents and owners don't do their job, you're not winning.
Nope.
It does not matter how well you do. Yeah. Right? We've seen what happens. I'll give you a good example to me is that 01 Sixers team with Iverson, right? Yeah. Where
an aging
Billy
Mutombo.
King, I'm just saying, they brought in the right coach with Larry Brown.
True. Yep.
I believe I think Billy King was the GM, if I'm not, I could be wrong, or Jim Croce or something like that, right? I think he was the owner. But they brought in, they knew the type of player they had. Yeah. And they understood the type of team they needed to have. They needed a bunch of rough riders. Yep. They need a bunch of guys that won't do what Iverson,
does well.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need the guys to do the little things.
Right. So we'll bring in a Tyrone Hill. Yeah. We'll bring in a draft and Eric Snow. Yep. Right. We'll bring in an Aaron McKee. Yep. We'll have these guys, we'll have a defensive anchor. First it was Theo Ratliff. Yep. Then we bring in a Dikembe Mutombo, who won Defensive Player of the Year that year. Yep. Like, that's how you orchestrate a team. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You look for building around your superstar.
Exactly.
What does our superstar not do? Get guys to do that.
Exactly. Same thing with Jerry Krause. Yeah. Hate or love him. I know people get upset that he broke up the Dynasty Bulls. Yeah. But he also created
the Dynasty Bulls. Right. He got in, he saw Jordan needed a wing, a good defensive two-way wing. Let's trade his boy Charles Oakley and bring in Scottie Pippen.
Right,
had to do it. Mm-hmm. It's
Well, Oakley,
Oakley with the year before.
No, Oakley was there with Pippen. He bullied.
Right,
he
yeah.
actually
Yeah.
bullied Pippen.
That's right.
But he got traded for guys like
for?
Cartwright.
That's right, Cartwright.
Bill Cartwright. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those are the type of guys that he helped and bring and pull around Jordan to kind of, drafting Horace Grant.
Yeah.
Bringing in Paxson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All these guys, drafting B.J. Armstrong and things like that. And then for the second dynasty, bringing in Steve Kerr, bringing in
Dennis
Ron
Rodman.
Harper, Dennis Rodman, understanding when to move off somebody, moved off Doug Collins.
Yeah.
Elevated Phil Jackson, told Phil Jackson to make sure you learn under text winner the triangle offense. Like having that much input. LeBron ain't get that.
No. LeBron got brought to Cleveland and said, here are the keys.
Yeah. Hey, bro, good luck, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it wasn't even a good car he was getting either. He was getting a raggedy, beat up piece of crap.
and early on, they mishandled the Carlos Boozer situation.
Yep.
Let him out of his let him walk, and he played them. Now.
He played them, yeah, he did.
But let him go to Utah. You know what I'm saying? And they kept bringing in all these old veteran guys.
Yep.
Here's old old Ben Wallace, old Shaq, old Wally Zerbiak, old Joe Smith. Like, his best counterpart his entire time there was Mo Williams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had Zdeno Gauskas. That was a good one, right? He was, But other than that, like, he wasn't really getting top of the line help.
He wasn't getting what he truly needed,
right?
Which proved itself when he finally made it to the finals and they get swept.
Yeah,
like just a better team all around. They had nothing but LeBron,
right? And I don't blame him for saying, you know what? Y'all not about to do what y'all did to Charles Barkley, what I did to Patrick Ewing and Karl Malone and these other great players, Dominique Wilkins and Reggie Miller and all that, hold it against him. Not me, not I.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not going to Elgin Baylor me.
Nope.
I'm getting me a ring, and I'm going to do it my way.
So I'm going to hit up Pat Riley. Mm-hmm. Pat Riley's going to be game, of course.
Right.
And I'm going to do this thing.
Right. Talk to D-Wade, talk to Bosh, and I'm going to be the GM from here on out.
Yeah.
Since y'all don't know what y'all doing, I'm going to fast track this shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I don't blame him.
No. I will never hold it against LeBron for starting that was the true player empowerment movement, right? I'm not going to let y'all define my career.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to do this myself. And I do appreciate that he kind of instilled that for a lot of people where it's like, yeah, if I'm in a situation where this ain't working for me, why should what is loyalty if I don't got the rings to prove it? Let me get out of here.
Right.
And I do appreciate that. I don't think it helped take the arrows because then Kevin, it sucked that Kevin Durant does it. You did lose to, that team that you went to the team that you lost to, that you were up to 3-1. I get that. But it was the same type of thing where it's like, you know what? I look at Russ. I don't see myself winning with Russ. I see myself winning with Steph. Let me go do that. It's fair game. Mm-hmm. It's fair game to me.
I agree. Moving on from that, though, something that's not fair game.
No.
So Austin River was talking about. I want you to read the byline from that.
The bottom half of some of these guys aren't NBA players. I can't go to each team and point out a couple of guys. There's a lot of projects. They're all long, athletic, don't know how to play. They don't have IQ. You didn't see that in the 90s. It was always the best player in the world. Later on in that, he then talked about pointing out the pay disparity between the top guys and some of these lower value guys. But that was the quote.
Mm-hmm. Do you agree with that?
I agree, but I think we would disagree on the reason.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree, but I would say that's because you were getting 22 and 23-year-olds going to the league who had played 4 years or 3 years of basketball. So their IQ was higher because they just played a lot of basketball in college. You got a lot of guys coming in 18, 19, and they got to figure it out. And they are going to be projects because they didn't get the years in college to develop that game. I just think that's the difference that we got right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was. I don't know if he would agree, but that's what I would say.
That's a part of it. The age thing is a part of it. There are a lot of guys who, like you said, they're just more grown men on the bench back then compared to now because the idea of just being one and done just wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing, yeah.
It just wasn't a thing. Talent-wise, no.
No, yeah.
I do think that most of these teams, talent on the bench is better than what it was then. Like, back then, by the time you got to the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th man, most of those guys was
DNPs.
just I mean they're DNPs now. I'm just saying, but like most of those guys like wouldn't even sniff a rotation. Now you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they were just there because
got to fill the roster.
Yeah, they could foul Shaq.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they were just they were just brawling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think now the guys on these benches literally can hoop.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? They can get actual buckets,
Yeah.
They're not there to be enforcers.
Right.
Right? They're not there to, these guys, there are a lot of guys who are specialists.
Yeah.
Who can,
who can get out there, play some defense. They do have some sort of shot.
Right.
Of something. Like it might be a midi at the rim or a three, but they got something.
Right.
Most guys are learning how to, become better passers and get into passing lanes. I think most of these guys, I think the talent level, I also don't agree with the IQ thing. I think the IQ thing, like they all develop that eventually where they start seeing, oh, okay, this is where I can affect the game in this way or that way. I would think of who's the dude on the Pelicans? Can't think of his name right now. Jose Alvarado, like an Alvarado, where he's like, oh, okay, like defense is kind of gonna be my
Jose.
bad. Yeah.
Jose De La Hoya.
I think like guys.
Did you see that?
I did. Yeah.
Swinging on Mark Wood.
Yeah. But they figure out what their bag is. And it's like, okay, like I may not be, the offensive player that you want me to be, but I can definitely get on the defense in this way or that way. Mm-hmm. I think of like a Josh Hart, where like his first years in the NBA were definitely not stable, but then in New Orleans, like, oh, okay, I got my bag now. I know what I am to these teams, and that's what I'm gonna be. Mm-hmm. So I just think it takes time now. I don't think that you're gonna get out the gate, dudes get drafted, and it's like, I know what I need to do to be an NBA player. I just don't think that's gonna happen.
Plus, when we think about some of these teams, man, let's look how deep some of these teams are. You look at Oklahoma City. Look at how deep Indiana was last year. Like, we're seeing now, look how deep Boston apparently was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're still top 5 seed, missing a lot of their players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know Pat Riley was playing a lot. I'm not Pat Riley. Eric Spoelstra was playing a lot more guys this year in Miami. Like, Cleveland has expanded their bench because of injuries to players this season. Like, there's a lot of teams.
Yeah, the
Spurs have a deep talent.
You could make the argument that you could take a lot of these teams, take like 5 of those guys or like 2 of those guys that we just mentioned, put them on another team, and it might be like in the starter rotation and not on the bench rotation.
Right.
There's a lot of guys like that. But it's just the fact that in the modern NBA, you gotta be deep because you're not rocking the superstars that we had back in the day, where it was clearly like this superstar was head and shoulders above your bench. That he could, we put him out there and your bench is useless. Mm-hmm. Those days are gone too. Where it's like Michael Jordan, all right, cool. We put him out there with that bench, it's a wrap for the next like 10 minutes. And we got to wait till our superstar comes back in till we can claw some of that back. Those days are gone. Where now I do think the bench scoring is a true blue like game factor now. Where it's like, no, like our bench is going to come out here and still give you 20. Mm-hmm. That's a thing now. And you got to account for that.
And I think that helps it, and this is going to make people upset. A lot of these guys back then, right, they were the man in their area.
Yeah.
Right? They were the man in their local high school area, right? But a lot of these kids now at the end of these benches, these projects, they were the man on their, not only in their area, but also like on the AAU circuit.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys are used to having to like get dubs, get lead teams to wins in this tournament and that tournament, being the leading scorer and all that kind of stuff. So the talent's more.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these guys, just the NBA now. The NBA makes mortals of everybody.
It does. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't look like it. But yeah, are there projects on some of these benches? Yeah.
Scotty Barnes was a project.
He's
becoming a lot better now.
But I definitely think that I just think the skill level to me is just high. I don't care what nobody says.
I do too.
I think the shooting's at an all-time high.
Yep.
I think the handles at an all-time high.
Passing is getting better.
Passing's at an all-time high. I just think that defense doesn't look like it's at an all-time high, but that's because I just think that we got people freaking spaced out.
Yeah.
On the court at such an insane rate, and it's hard to play. Yeah. It's easy to play defense. I don't care what this. You say. It's hard playing like this.
When you got bigs who can stand out there and bring out the other big, you're gonna have a lot of space out there. That's hard to cover.
Yeah. Anyway, man, that's all the time for We Have for Guys today, man. You can follow me at Facebook, Instagram, everything at Bryce David Odin. Bryce going to tell him.
Twitter, Bruce Leroy.
And remember, you're hearing from the horse's mouth. So listen to Ask What Told You. We out. Peace.